Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Please consider subscribing and check out our Patreon for more. Enjoy the video. Once again, it was spring. Jeff felt down at this time of year more than any other. Even summer didn't make him feel as sad as when he saw a woman in a pink top and spike heels being rung up at the cash register. He could only sigh and wish he looked like that. After she left, a man buying beer said, "She does look nice, doesn't she?" Jeff asked himself, why me? If I went shopping wearing my feminine clothes, the guy probably would be angry and disgusted. Jeff was happy to get home after going to the store. He went straight to his room, dropped on his bed, and took off his black sneakers. His feet were covered in black nylons, which he could see when he took off his shoes. He moved his toes around and thought that they could use a good soak in warm water. Someone knocked on the door. Jeff's mother was calling. "Honey, are you okay?" "Yes, okay, Mom," Jeff said as he moved his legs to the other side of the bed so that if she came in, he wouldn't show her his pink toes or socks. He rolled up his pants and took off his knee socks. "Hi, your dad and I are going out to dinner right now," she said, but she didn't even open the door all the way. "Are you sure you don't want to come?" "I'm certain." Jeff watched the car pull out of the driveway and drive away from his bedroom window. Then he went to the bathroom and used his new razor to get rid of the few hairs that had grown since the last time he shaved. When he climbed into the tub, the water was so peaceful. When he got back to his room, he put his towel over his chest. "I'm just happy that I can clean my own room and do my own washing." His sandals clicked on the floor in the kitchen as he walked to the washer and dryer. His body felt great. He washed more than just his t-shirts, shorts, and work clothes. He also washed his nylons, skirts, and tops, as well as a swimming suit with only one piece. "I would give anything to be able to look good in a bikini." Jeff said this as he stood in front of a mirror and held up the swimsuit. He fell to his knees, and tears started to run down his face. God, I just wish I was a girl. He had always felt uncomfortable in his own skin, longing to embrace his true identity. The weight of societal expectations and gender norms had burdened him for far too long. With each passing day, the desire to transition grew stronger within him. "We've arrived!" From the front door, Jeff's dad called out. His mother put her purse on the counter and went into her room, which was attached to the laundry room. When Jeff's mom and dad saw him on his knees with a one-piece that wasn't his mom's, they were shocked. "What's going on?" She said it in a confused way. "They weren't with you today when you went to work." Jeff looked at the floor and said, "This is who I am." He just couldn't bring himself to look at his parents. "I was trying to get up the nerve to send a short letter by email to everyone in my contact book. Here's what I am. You are the boy you were when you were born." Jeff's mom put her hand on her husband's shoulder and shook her head as Jeff's dad screamed, "Jeff, have you chosen a name for yourself that sounds like a girl's?" "She did. Jane." Jeff sneezed and said, "Right, Jane." His mother smiled and said, "Why don't you put on one of your shirts and skirts and we'll go out for ice cream while your dad tries to figure out what he just heard? A trip with my mom like I've always wanted?" Jeff inquired. "You're right." She had a nice smile. "I'll even fix your face for you. When you cry, your makeup runs. So please tell me more." As she pulled into the parking lot of the ice cream shop in town and got out of the car, Jeff's mother said, "How long have you been feeling like this? Since I was a, girl?" Jeff gave it some thought. "I started getting dressed when I was about 8, and you let me help with things like cleaning and other chores around the house. I bought clothes with my allowance money until I was old enough to get a job and make my own money." "Is it just because it's fun to wear them?" she asked him. "Not just the clothes, no." Jeff told the truth. You have no idea what it's like to look at a guy and wish you were pretty enough for him to like you back. I agree. She was very nice. I used to be a young woman. Thanks for getting it. Jeff said this as he walked backwards across the parking lot to face his mother. He didn't have time to respond when a speeding driver turned into the parking lot and hit him. "Jane!" Jeff's mom's screams stopped when she saw the scene. Jeff yelled, "Moo!" He heard that his voice was much higher than it had been. When he touched his throat, he found that he no longer had an Adam's apple. "Howdy, Jane." It sounded like a voice was coming from everywhere and nowhere in particular. "Here you are in heaven. I thought that people like me as cross-dressers couldn't get into this place." Jane said this as she stood next to a tree in a grassy area that went on in every direction. She couldn't see anyone or anything that would have told her that people were nearby. If they have been good in their hearts and souls, they do get in. The sound was loud. The truth is that something went wrong. Jane asked, "Mistake? I won't go to hell, right?" "No, you're not, honey," someone said. "The time had come for that drunk driver to kill a poor man. But we heard your prayers, darling. You're going back now. You won't go back as Jeff. You'll go back as Jane. Your parents won't remember what you said or even that you were a boy." Jane felt like she had been hit in the stomach and knocked out of breath. Jane was grabbed from behind by an unseen hand and pulled into a void of nothing. "Jane!" the mother of Jane screamed. She saw the truck swing around and just miss the young girl. Jane's mother grabbed her and gave her a tight hug. "You need to pay more attention, dear. Even though you are now a teen, I still worry about you." Jane nodded, still shaken from the close call. She couldn't help but feel a sense of relief knowing that her parents would never know the truth about her previous identity as a boy. However, she also realized that her new life as Jane came with its own set of responsibilities and challenges. She looked at her face in the makeup mirror on the passenger visor. She saw a pretty girl looking back at her instead of a college boy. She looked like the kind of girl who would look good in a bikini this summer. She also saw that her hair had changed from brown to blonde. She smiled and looked at her mother. "I can't think of a trip with my mom or daughter that I liked more than this one." "Honey, do you like the ice cream?" Jane's dad asked, but he didn't look up from the paper. She knew it was no longer spring because the paper had a date on it. In the paper's main title, it said that school was starting in the morning. It was amazing. Jane smiled as she went to her room and put on a pair of pants and a nightshirt that covered them. The next day, she found that the alarm had been set much earlier than when she was a man. At first, she thought it was all a dream, but when she felt a weight on her body and looked all around her. Jane had never liked taking a bath more than she did that day. While she was in the tub, she realized that her period was coming. She had to clean up a mess before going to school for the first time on the first day of her new life. She was just glad that she knew how to put on makeup and a bra. "I got you this small present for your first day, my dear." When Jane's mother opened the package, she saw a cute rabbit-shaped pendant on a chain. The rabbit was dressed up like the bunny in the old book Alice in Wonderland. Jane thought it was a good sign, since she was about to become a woman and join a wonderful new world. Jane said, "Thanks, Mom," as she walked out the door to catch the school bus. She thought it was worth it as she tried out to be a cheerleader. "Are you ready to practice cheerleading?" A girl with red hair asked the question while wearing a pink t-shirt, a purple skirt, and white shoes. Jane was confused and asked, "Practice?" Jane only knew that she had to be a friend in her new life. "Even though you think you're good, I'm still captain." As the girl came over, she said, "How are you?" Susan and Jane hugged each other. Jane had never had a better day at school than that one. She also liked how the blue crop top and short skirt cheerleading outfit showed how she really felt. A beautiful girl. She was always clumsy and never very sporty because she was a man. She couldn't believe how flexible she was in her new body. She had a lot to look forward to in life, and her family loved her. Jane's transformation had brought her newfound confidence and happiness. She felt grateful for the love and support she received from her family, knowing that they accepted her for who she truly was. As she looked ahead, Jane couldn't help but feel excited about the endless possibilities that awaited her in life. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out Patreon for a lot more content and early access to YouTube videos.